Hey guys, it's Eve again. Welcome back to my channel, Religion and Visual Culture. For today's segment, I will be talking about the practice of civil religion, but more specifically, I will be focusing on the aspect of civil religion in Canada. I would like to start off with discussing the definition of religion. Émile Durkheim, a French sociologist, defined religion as a unified system of beliefs and practices relative to sacred things. That is to say, things set apart and surrounded by prohibitions, beliefs and practices that unite its adherents in a single moral community called church. Knowing the definition of religion, in a sense, helps us to define civil religion, as civil religion is the implicit religious values of a nation. Ronald Bienier, a professor of political science at the University of Toronto, defines civil religion as the empowerment of religion, not for the sake of religion, but for the sake of enhanced citizenship, of making members of the political community better citizens, in accordance with whatever conception one holds of what constitutes being a good citizen. Ronald Bienier's definition regarding civil religion can be applied when defining the practice of civil religion within Canada. Canadians practice civil religion, and the visual aspect of civil religion creates an imagined community that those who identify as Canadians are a part of, thus creating Canadian nationalism. The visual element of civil religion lets this imagined community feel a sense of belonging to Canada through visual culture. It is commonly expressed that Canada suffers from a lack of civil religion, but there are in fact some examples present in the country that are landmarks recognized around the world as being distinctly Canadian. These landmarks are a part of the practice of civil religion within Canada, and through public rituals, symbols, and ceremonies, they create a fortification of unitement through their visual representations. The visual element of civil religion reminds us of what it is to be Canadian. The first example of civil religion begins with the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police, often referred to as the RCMP, are a Canadian National Police Service and an agency of the Ministry of Public Safety Canada. Aside from their law enforcement duties, the RCMP provide a visual representation of Canadian policies through their role in Canadian law enforcement. According to Michael Dawson, the author of Symbols of Canada, the Mountie has always been a symbol of English-Canadian culture, but the English-Canadian culture has transformed a lot between the 19th century and today. 100 years ago, they would have been recognized as a symbol of the celebration of British imperialism, although from the 1960s onwards, English Canadians have stopped identifying with the imperialism celebration. Therefore, it has been updated to a celebration of multiculturalism. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police are a part of Canadian civil religion, as they are recognized as a symbol that demonstrates the lawful values of the nation, and through the visual of their distinctive dress uniform consisting of the scarlet-red jacket, blue breeches with a yellow stripe, and a wide, flat-brimmed Stetson hat, they are a constant visual reminder of Canadian values. The maple leaf is a civil religious symbol of Canada, and through visual encounter with the maple leaf, people are reminded that they are Canadian. The maple leaf has been intertwined into many aspects of Canadian visual culture, as it is the emblem of Canada. This is due to its long history of representing Canada. According to Canada Info and Grower Direct, the story of the rise of the maple leaf as Canada's emblem begins in 1834, when the French-Canadian Association, St. John de Baptiste Society, made the maple leaf their emblem. The first mayor of Montreal, Jacques Vergere, deemed the maple as the king of our forest and the symbol of Canadian people. 2 years later, in 1836, a Canadian newspaper suggested the maple leaf would be a suitable emblem for Canada. Then, in 1848, a Canadian literary annual named The Maple Leaf announced the maple leaf as being the chosen emblem for Canada. By 1860, the maple leaf was incorporated into the Royal Canadian 100th Regiment badge, and in 1867, Alexander Muir wrote The Maple Leaf Forever as Canada's Confederation song. The Maple Leaf Forever was regarded as the national song for decades. Then, in 1868, Quebec and Ontario's coat of arms incorporated the maple leaf, and from 1876 to 1901, the maple leaf also appeared on all of Canada's coins. In 1904, the maple leaf was displayed on the shirts worn by Canadian athletes in the Olympics, and during World War I and II, the maple leaf was worn by Canadian soldiers on their hats, badges, and military equipment. Finally, on February 15, 1965, the maple leaf flag was inaugurated as the national flag of Canada. And today, the maple leaf can be seen as explicitly used in Canadian organizations, businesses, and sports teams' identities and logos. The maple leaf is a symbol that unites and will continue to unite all Canadians. Civil religion has many forms, and one of the most prominent ones being sport. Professional sports in Canada combine patriotism, the Canadian flag, the national anthem, and adoration of heroes, which are all aspects of civil religion. According to Canada Justice Law's website, Canada's national winter sport is hockey. Canada is commonly identified with hockey, and hockey is quite commonly referred to as a civil religion in Canada. Through the large amount of Canadian teams and Canadian players in the National Hockey League, also known as the NHL, and Canada's male and female success in Olympic hockey, it is easy to see the connection between the ritual of hockey and Canadian collective identity. The visual aspect of hockey as a civil religion in Canada allows people to feel connected to the sport, teams, and players on an all-Canadian level. This connection to the sport through visuals allows people all over Canada to feel connected to the Canadian community. This visual aspect includes the incorporation of Canadian culture into the sport, such as the Toronto Maple Leafs logo of the maple leaf. The Toronto Maple Leafs actually bear the Canadian emblem of the maple leaf on their jerseys. Though the term civil religion was coined by Robert Bellah, an American sociologist, when he was defining civil religion in America, it is still relevant to talk about civil religion in Canada, as things such as the RCMP, the Maple Leaf, and hockey are examples of Canadian civil religion. These examples specifically adhere to the visual aspect of civil religion. So now, hopefully you are able to understand how the visual aspect of civil religion creates a sense of unitement for Canadians. That concludes my video for this week regarding religion and visual culture. See you again next week. Bye for now.